It's a few minutes after 5 p.m. Not just that, it's officially 1 week to Christmas. Hey! Angie! We are going to paint the town red on Christmas Day. You know now because it's a bit personal to me. Anyway, I'm super excited because I will be right here to celebrate Christmas with you all. Before I get overexcited, let's me welcome you to the show. It's Real Talk with Kike, and I am your humble host, Kike Lomaton. That would never change. Nigeria is the 7th most populous country in the world, with our numbers running into 200 million. We are rich in natural resources, oil, and most especially an amazing bank of human resource and intellectual capacity. Despite all this, we still struggle as citizens of the great nation. We have questions. I know that. So many questions. When will we get better? How do we hold people responsible, or would we hold responsible in the first place? Who is looking out for us as the citizens? Lagos, Nigeria. We have our guest in the studio today. I'm very sure you all have heard the profile, and myself and my able producer have been going back and forth that we've not achieved anything. We are not even close to what he has achieved in his life. And we have no other than Honorable Ademola in the studio. He was tactical to hold him down, all sorts of locations, and the address that was given to him. As we all know, he has won so many caps and have served in different capacities, and we are definitely honored to have him in our presence today. Welcome again, sir, and sorry for the stress of getting here. I think we should just go straight to the point. At this moment, I think my first question to you, sir, is what policies did you put in place while you held these offices, and what changed while we were on seat?
Well, thank you very much for inviting me to this eminent program.
Thank you for
and
so
your
much.
Station, Inspiration 92.3 FM.
Thank you so much.
Which is a family radio.
Yes.
So I'm here to say that it's a family radio. You must espouse more to see that it's family oriented.
Yes, sure.
Well, I held many offices. So with specificity, you have to really mention which one, because I was in Lagos State back in 92 through 93 through 94. Then I was in federal at the government level from 2007 to 2010. And I was in 4 different ministries at different times. So really I was a 4-time minister and also a cabinet member of Lagos State under Sir Michael Tedola. Very, very young at the time. Thanks to God. So you have to really specify which change.
Okay,
in fact, I'm still in office now as chairman of Nigerian Maritime Academy.
Yeah, sure. So I think the most recent office was that of you being the Minister of Interior. Their responsibility when it comes to the Nigerian prison services, amongst other things. But recently we have had complaints about the overcrowding of the prison, the treatment they give the inmates, and wrongful detention of people in the cells. So what is your take on this, and while you were a minister, what was done under your own administration?
Thank you. While I was a Minister of Interior.
Of Interior, correct.
Now that is very, very specific. Now.
Yes, yeah.
Because we can come from agriculture to water resources to mines and steel. And to defense. Now Interior, which was my last deployment. Well, when I was in office as a Minister of Interior, we did quite a lot of things.
Yeah.
And I want you to remember that this so-called Shekarau of Boko Haram, of insurgents, it was under our capture then. But unfortunately, he had to escape because of the jail breakout, because of the lack of food, which was not approved at the time by the then vice president before he became acting president, President Jonathan. He was expecting a letter. We held him down on Independence Way, Cardinal prisons. And really, that had a lot to do with all mark of achievement. Now, at that time, regarding immigration, we were able to put passport to become e-passport. I personally installed it in Los Angeles, Washington, D.C., Brazil, South Africa.
Thank you for refreshing our memory.
London, and many, many other countries. Many other cities of many countries. And really, that e-passport has come to stay. And now we had a lot of things planned because There was also the so-called resident permit, and we digitalized it. We made it very electronic as well. Those are the changes we brought into the system.
Thank you so much for your feedback. I think because of time, my next question will be that as one who has once been in power, can you categorically say presently, people in power, are they looking out for the benefit of the simple Nigerians or we citizens as we speak at the moment?
Well, it depends on individual. It is very individualistic.
Okay.
I'm very nationalistic in my idea and in my philosophy, in my approach, and in particular in my disposition. Really, to me, success of a man is not amount of wealth you have amassed, but rather the amount of people you have touched. If you have opportunity to be in position of authority through government, it is the people that put there. It is the grace of God, and as a result, you should now know very well that doing the right things for people will be something beneficial to your legacy and to your children's children.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much. Again, I think this will be my last question, and I will say that in 1 minute, sir, how were you able to fit into all of these roles, having different responsibility for each one? Because going through your profile, we were wondering that, oh God, we have to do better as an individual and as one who is growing. So in one minute, sir, what's your response to that?
Well, I mean, it's about discipline,
okay,
conduct, and control. There's a lot of there are quite a number of people, in particular the younger generation. They have the GRQ, what I call GRQ, get rich quick. A lot of people don't want to work, and they want to
they don't want to serve.
They don't want to serve. They don't want to even give them opportunity. There's a difference between unemployment and unemployable. A lot of productivity out of university right now, most of them are unemployable.
Oh wow!
People don't want to take underemployment as jobs sometimes.
All right, thank you so much for that feedback. I know that we're unable to get all the juice out of him, but I can promise you, Lagos, Nigeria will definitely bring him back into the studio. And unfortunately, it's time to leave. But I would say this as a closing remark, as the quote of the day, that leaders say no to corruption. Anyone playing a role in government or in governance and is not ready to do this is not a leader. And at the end of the day, we've also heard it from our honorable former minister for interior, who have also told us about diligence and hard work and people willing to serve, which is important, because I believe that the youth of today are not willing to serve. They just want to have that quick money and all of that. Thank you so much for joining us today, listeners. And to our honorable guest, again, is like a father to me. I think the world doesn't know that. Thank you so much for being here today. I feel very honored, and please join me same time, same station next week for some real talk with Kike.